My name is Monique Straw. I sat down with activists across the country.
We're going to begin with breaking news tonight out of Minneapolis in the death of George Floyd, the unarmed black man in Minneapolis who died in police
Prosecutors
custody.
say Officer Derek Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
And these are their stories.
We saw what can happen when enough people are upset, things get done and a lot quicker, you know? I felt like I had to go. Like, I couldn't just sit idly and do nothing at this point because it was too personal. We first went to the Cup Foods where it all happened and you dropped some things off and then stayed there for them to speak and like the protests and things. After that, that's when we went to the 3rd precinct, and it was peaceful for the first like hour or so I was there, and then whenever the sun went down, then that's when, of course, because there were people who were out of state who were kind of instigating, but it was very subtle, like where people kind of felt like they shut them up. And then when the night kind of fell, that's when more people were showing their colors and like, you know, they came to like destruct some things, you know.
We're continuing our coverage tonight here on WCCO and CBSN Minnesota.
Protesters have set fire to Minneapolis' 3rd police precinct.
We want to give you a look from Sky 4.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. We're going to begin with breaking news tonight.
Anger and anguish with America on edge tonight.
Now, 11 state police have started moving up little by little, using tear gas to disperse the crowd.
And my group of friends, we were by the precinct the whole time. Like, after we left Cub Foods, we got to 3rd precinct and we stayed there. And then we started kind of getting boxed in, so then we were just stuck out there for a while. So when they started tear gassing us, like we were trying to run away to get away from it. And then like, people were, you know, running and scattering around and knocking people over, and then I get like slammed into like a brick wall, and then like one of these, like then you see officers coming around and like one just maced me when I'm like on the ground already, so it's like, why would you mace me? Like, it was just very hard being around, being there at that time, because it's like you're trying to get out off. You're trying to get out and take off on foot, and people are pushing you, like, you know, National Guard, police officers are pushing you in while they're opening fire at you, and you're trying to get out and run the opposite direction, but they're trying to push you towards the shooting, you know, and box you in while they, you know. And it's like, and then you hear that the fact that it's your own president telling them to like just shoot him, you know? Your president's telling you to shoot his people, like what? Like,
do you feel safe in this country?
No, like the fact that your president can just say like, just shoot him, shoot all those thugs.
You said you felt like you needed to leave the city.
Oh yeah, we had to leave because the city was burning, and like after the precincts went on fire, everyone was encouraging people to leave the cities. Like me and my group of friends, we took off on foot, and then we finally met up at one of our friends', you know, places, and we were like, you know, we can't stay here, so we have to find somewhere outside of the cities to, you know, to stay the night. It was very weird having to just have to abruptly take up on foot and like have to ask someone, so like, hey, could I stay at your house tonight? Like, the city's on fire.
Was it fear? What drove you? What drove you out? Like, what was the feeling?
When everything had Cause when the National Guard started coming and like they were opening fire. When the police precinct went down, like, you know, it was not safe to be there. Like it just was not. We did not want to see how that panned out. Like some people want to stay until the end and figure out what this goes. But we were just like, let's go while we still can.
Self-preservation.
Yeah, and I'm glad we left when we did because moments after, it's when like so many people got hurt and so many people like you could hear the screaming in the street. Like when you'd be silent and you just hear just the wailing and agony. Like you can still hear it, like just the sounds of people groaning and crying and screaming. It was just like out of a horror movie. Like, yeah, you still can, sometimes like you can still hear it when you think about it and you can like smell the burning and smell like the rotting, like because people getting hurt and like people bleeding and then like the smell of them having blood on them for hours, the rotting smell, and it was something I'd never experienced, like at least not in my lifetime. Like I couldn't go more than one day. Like I just couldn't, it was too much. Even now, like, it feels more like a dream because I still can't believe I was out there too. And the things that I saw, it feels like, to me, the way I'm coping with it is as if it happened to someone else. Oh, Munchie.
What a sweetheart.
She's the cutest. She's the best.
She found some peace to come out and say hi.
Yeah. The mood just changed when the kitty comes.
Kitties make me light like that too.